Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. If you've been around a while, you'll know that I used to use my plus 10 Brave Claude religiously in Ether raids. He was my crowning jewel, the tank who no one could kill because of his insane healing abilities. And then Fatal Smoke happened, and save skills happened, and Legendary Cigarette happened, and as the months passed, Brave Claude became less and less viable, until he was more of a liability to the team than an asset, and so I stopped using him altogether. When his refine was announced, I was cautiously hopeful. I was honestly skeptical that they would give him anything good enough to bring him back into the meta, but I was really hoping for null follow-up, damage reduction, null guard, and some more stats. And, well, he actually got all that and more. I'm here to show you my new Brave Claude build, and how amazingly it performed in the most recent round of Summoner Duels rank. Brave Claude is back, guys, and he's better than ever. So this is the team that I ended up running with in Summoner Duels. It went through a few iterations before I finally settled on this, but once I ironed out the kinks, it was extremely effective. For the captain skill, I was running a droid captain to give null follow-up to Summer Claude, which is very powerful on him. Summer Claude was the captain of the team because he was my best save buster unit with the ability to get in 4 guaranteed hits against any unit who he outsped. If he didn't have the adroit captain skill, I'd be running an impact skill on him to ensure he doesn't get doubled when he initiates. He's running Ruptured Sky for the guaranteed 2 procs in 4 hits, assuming no guard, attack speed catch, Fallen Star, Pulse Smoke to pulse down the pre-charged specials, and Blade Session. He's basically built entirely around murdering everything he runs into, which he does very well. Next up is the classic Farsave Brave Hector. Farsave is pretty much a must in high-level Summoner Duels, at least with my playstyle. If you have a hyper-offensive playstyle, you could probably get away without a save unit, but I like having that cushion of security provided by an unbreakable savior. He's running Sacred Cowl, Distant Defense 4, Hardy Fighter, Far Save, and Deflect Missile. You might be surprised to know that DD4 is much more effective than Austin Encounter in Summoner Duels, as it allows him to survive a lot more threats, and being able to counterattack isn't particularly important as long as he can survive. Deflect Missile is there to help him survive against non-magic units like Duo Dagger and Harmonic Camilla, who simply cannot kill him with this damage reduction from the seal. And now for the star of this showcase, Brave Claude. He's running Attack Speed Catch, Speed Preempt, Attack Speed Rain, and Attack Speed Form. I chose Deadeye as his special because of the 2 cooldown, which synergizes really well with Speed Preempt. He attacks first, lowering his cooldown to 1, then the foe attacks, charging his special, and finally he retaliates with a guaranteed Deadeye. Luna is also a great budget option. The A skill, C skill, and Seal are pretty flexible as long as they boost his attack and speed. I opted for a Rain skill rather than a Menace because I was able to give him visible buffs from the other team members. The B skill could also be swapped out for Trace, but I really liked Preempt on him instead, and you'll see why in this showcase. In the 4th slot, we have Ashe, who is still one of the best Summoner Duels support units in my opinion. The mobility shenanigans enabled by opening Retainer can let you pick off some sneaky kills with your nukes if the opposing player isn't careful with their unit placement, and also, it makes it much easier to easily move your savior unit around. Although her combat potential is somewhat limited at +0, she can still get kills on squishy units with her guaranteed follow-up, and she can act as a physical wall with her high defenses and follow-up negation. I'm running even Pulse Tie on her to help pulse down some common pre-charge specials like Yuri and Duo Chrom. Finally, we have a dancer, Hatari Azura. I accidentally picked her up on the most recent Double Special Heroes banner and decided to try her out on this team, and she is amazing. She can give Summer Claude 3 movement, which really helps with his Canto Rem. I've definitely gotten a lot of mileage out of that extra movement. Also, since she's a cavalry unit, she's there to buff the team by enabling tactics skills. Both Brave Claude and Summer Claude rely on buffs to fully activate their weapon effects, so running double tactics on her is crucial. Aside from that, she's just running her base kit. So now let's take a look at the matches that I played this season, because it was kind of a roller coaster before I really figured out what I wanted to do with this team. So this was my first match of the season. I had a different iteration of the team that I was using. So let's take a look at the opposing team first. So they had a Regan because she's a bonus unit, Ninja Corrin, Ascended Adun, Brave Erica, and Ash. Some pretty common Summoner Duels units in here. Now, I was initially running Duo Peony with Tactics before I realized that Tactics didn't actually work on this team because I had 2 flyers, and also a Near Save Myrrh and Regan. So the match starts off by just basically us moving in. They don't have bar save, so I'm easily able to snipe off their Regan with Brave Claude, and then their Brave Erica snipes my Myrrh, and then I'm able to just pick off their Corrin, and after that, it's kind of just a matter of picking everyone else off, because the only threat left is Ascended Adun, and even she on her own, there's just no way she's going to be able to beat this team. So at this point, they just surrendered, and so I was able to get the win. Now, if that had been a far save Adun, might have been a little bit closer, but anyways. So I was feeling pretty good at that point about the team. And then I matched up against someone who had a lot of plus 10 units, almost their entire team was plus 10, and I made a crucial mistake here. So they have a plus 10 Legendary Chrom, plus 10 Legendary Claude, plus 2 Asker, plus 10 Legendary Leaf, and plus 10 Duo Dagger. And so they kind of really pressed the advantage turn 1. I didn't have a far save unit, and I thought Brave Claude would be able to easily take on Legendary Claude with Preempt, but unfortunately, Fallen Star has 80% damage reduction, which I did not think about. So Brave Claude just died there. So don't forget about Fallen Star, guys, if you're trying to use Speed Preempt. So next up is against this team with a really cool Legendary Tiki. Sorry, Brave Tiki, not Legendary Tiki. So they do have a plus 3 Brave Tiki, and also Duo Chrom, Asker, Thor, and Valuria. So my Claude was actually able to take out their Tiki quite easily. So that was super awesome. And then after that, they kind of just kept playing, but I feel like at this point, when the star of your team has already been taken out, there's just not much more you can do about it. Especially since my Summer Claude is also then able to go take out Asker. Seriously, guys, that Ruptured Sky proc is no joke. So at that point, they just surrendered. And then, unfortunately, that win was followed by another loss. This is a really interesting Nina that we see here. Harmonic Nina. Or is she Duo? I'm not really sure. So first up, they've got a plus 10 Reeve with Canto Control, which is crazy. Plus 2 Nina with Speed Preempt. Edelgard, Dagger, and Regan. Really nice build on the Regan with the Float Guard there. So at this point, they're using their Duo skill to press that advantage first turn. And as you can see, they've got a lot of ranged units, so my Myrrh isn't doing much. So I'm able to take out their Regan, but then Brave Edelgard just kind of swoops in and takes her out. And then they take out my Dancer as well. I really should have just surrendered at this point. I was just feeling kind of salty because they just kind of completely routed me all in one turn. So at this point, like, it's obvious I've lost. I was able to take out their Nina, which was nice, but yeah, this is a big L. Yeah. So I just surrendered there. And I think that was the point where I started to realize that running a Near Saver probably wasn't the best move, just because so many people run range threats as opposed to melee threats. So this is when I switched to Brave Hector. But I still did lose this match. But yeah, look at that Corrin, look at that Edelgard, look at that Claude, really high investment units there. Fellow Claude user, Flane and then Eliwood. And guys, this bonus doubler with the legendary Eliwood bonus doubler on this Brave Edelgard, I just could not crack her. None of my units were doing like any damage. Brave Claude couldn't really do anything. Summer Claude couldn't do anything because of the color disadvantage. It was just a massacre. Like at this point, this was pretty clear I'd lost at this point. It's just unfortunate that my team is kind of susceptible to plus 10 Brave Edelgards. But yeah, this is when I kind of felt like I had to reevaluate my strategy, and this is when the winning streak began, which is awesome. At this point, I only had one match left that I could lose, so one loss and I was out. So the stakes were kind of high. So yeah, the opposing team also had a Hatari Azura. They had a Duo Chrom, a plus 10 Faye, super cool build for her, Yuri, and Harmonic Roy. So they start by pressing their ranged advantage, but at this point I've got Brave Hector, and I'm not scared of Duo Crumb or Yuri, not with Brave Hector on the team. And this is what I mean when I say I like having that cushion of security. And Ruptured Sky from Claude is actually able to take out their Fae in one round, and at that point they just surrendered. So, yeah. This is when I really started to feel good about the team. I really felt like it performed well in that last match, and I kind of felt like I could keep the momentum up. So, yeah, now we're facing a team with a fellow Farsave Brave Hector, very similar to build to mine. Norn plus 10, cool pick. Tethys, a plus 10 Duo Dagger, and a plus 10 Duo Micaiah. So, yeah, definitely some high investment units on this team. But because I'm running Deflect Missile on Hector, they actually can't kill him with Duo Dagger. So yeah, I'm just able to pick her off because she was out of Farsave range. And unfortunately at this point, I didn't have anyone who could one-round this Brave Hector, so just got in a lot of damage with Claude. And their Micaiah couldn't even get close to taking out my Hector. So then after that, I'm just able to pick off their Farsave Hector, and it's pretty clear I've won at that point, so they just surrendered. So Brave Claude did really well there against that Brave Hector. So next up is a really cool team that I faced with Layla, who you don't see very often, even though she just came out. I think a lot of people are sleeping on how good she actually is. So this person's got a Sothis, a plus 10 Legendary Lyn, who's normally a very good Vector counter. They've also got their own plus 10 Vector, Layla with Speed Preempt, I think that was, and also a really cool plus 10 Legendary Eliwood. So yeah, just moving in, and at this point, my Summer Claude is so strong that he's able to just almost one-round their Brave Hector. Plus 10 Brave Hector, by the way. And at this point, I've just put Hector there to block all the melee threats, and Layla isn't able to take out Hector, unfortunately, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take out their Eliwood. And then Legendary Lyn. Because of the Pulse Smoke on Claude, she couldn't get off Deadeye, so she couldn't kill my Brave Hector. And then from there, it's just a matter of picking off the rest of the units. So yeah, at this point, it's pretty clear that I've won. But they are still gonna go be able to kill my Farsave Vector. So, you know, Layla's pretty good. 17 damage, not bad. But at that point, yeah, it's just a matter of picking everyone else off. But definitely an interesting match. Next up is another one with the fellow... Everybody's running Brave Hector. I can't even judge because I am too. He's just that good. But thankfully, my Summer Claude deals very well with Brave Hectors. So they've got a plus 10 Brave Crom as well. Plus 10 Brave Hector. Plus 2 Atri with Swift Sparrow. Plus 10 Legendary Marth. Very scary. Plus 3 Hitaria Azura. So I'm not gonna lie. Atri is one of those units who just does really well against Brave Hector, so I was worried. But thankfully, my own Summer Claude was able to just pick off their Brave Claude, their Brave Hector right away. And at this point, they surrendered, which I guess means that Atri couldn't take out Brave Hector, which was nice. So yeah, that was a relatively painless win. I was thinking it was going to go worse. Next up, we've got this match with a really cool theme team. This person obviously really likes Niffle and Lachesis, so they've got the plus 10 regular Niffle, plus 1 Ascended Furum for Farsave, plus 10 Dancer Lachesis, plus 5 Summer Niffle, and a plus 10 regular Lachesis with a really cool build. So when I first saw this team, I definitely wasn't thinking it was going to give me too much of a problem, but still very cool to see people's dedication to their faves. And here we see Summer Claude effortlessly dismantling yet another Farsave unit. So at this point, there's not much they can do, because Niffle's a cavalry, so she can't reach to attack anyone because of the trenches and trees. So I'm just able to pick her off. Unfortunately, Lachesis still can't kill Brave Hector, but she is doing a lot of chip damage on the others. But now we just take her out, despite the miracle, just because Summer Claude is that good. And at that point, we're just able to pick off the rest of the units. And actually, Ash gets a kill. That's her first kill. So that's pretty cool. Super cool theme team, Shanoa. And this, guys, was the sweatiest match I played this entire run. It ended in a draw, but for the longest time I was certain I was going to lose, and you'll see why. So plus 10 Farsave Edelgard, I'm already scared because I can't really counter her. I don't have a unit to counter her. She's so good. plus 10 Summer Edelgard, very scary, and I don't have a Near Saber. Plus 10 Regan, plus 10 Noe, who's their captain, plus 10 Ninja Korin. There are definitely some units on this team who can hard counter me, so I was very scared. I'm able to snipe their Noe because she was out of far save range, and at that point, they just move their Edelgard in because they know I can't kill her. But I am able to take out the Summer Edelgard, and, well, they can just get the free kill on my Summer Claude then. And at this point, I really didn't know what to do. Brave Claude was able to get some chip damage in on her, but not much. I was really scared at this point because I just couldn't kill her. She was just going around killing all of my units. Ninja Korin took out my Brave Hector too. I really thought I was done here. I was about to surrender. And I was like, wait a second. What if I try this? Let Edelgard take the bait from Ashe, and then just see if Preempt from Claude can't actually stall out this Korin. And it did. That Korin could not touch my Claude. Despite the fact that she's plus 10, initiating on him with Swiss Barrow has Colorless Feud, and this Claude is alone, so form isn't activated, his weapon isn't activated. That Korin could not touch him through Preempt. And guys, that was like the crowning moment of Brave Claude's achievement. I was so shocked, so happy. So yeah, there you have it. Speed Preempt, busted. So next up is a match against a pretty standard assortment of units, aside from this plus 10 Edelgard, who you don't really see Fallen Edelgard in Summoner Duels anymore because she's kind of scary. You know, no more reason to be scared of her because with my Summer Claude, I can kind of just kill her. As long as he's got null follow-up, he just demolishes her. So at this point, there's not much more they can do. I can take out their Fjorm with Brave Claude, which, by the way, super awesome. I didn't know he could take out Ascended Fjorm, but there you go. And at that point, they just surrendered. Oh, and I was worried about this match against the Noodle because they had a plus 10 Brave Dimitri. Very scary. I haven't run into him yet, so I was scared. Yeah, plus 10 Refined Brave Dimitri. Plus 6 Ninja Korin, plus 10 Farsave Vector, we've seen it before, Regan, and a plus 1 Ulm. So definitely some units to be scared about here who I don't really have an answer for. Ulm is kind of one of those units, although I don't think he can kill Brave Hector in one round. So at this point I was waiting for them to move their Ulm out of the way so that I could just go snipe their Farsave Vector. And at this point I'm still in Farsave range, so their Korin can't do anything, and yeah, they just surrendered at that point. I didn't even have to worry about the Brave Dimitri. This match, I was just talking to my friend about how good Summer Claude was in Summoner Duels, and then the two of us literally ran into each other in Summoner Duels. So anyway, here's his team, running a very similar Brave Hector to mine, and he's got a really cool Legendary Ulm and Brave Ulm. So we just messaged each other on the side. We were like, hey, you want to draw? So we decided to draw. So there's no actual gameplay in this match, but yeah, this is my IRL best friend who actually got me into FEH over 5 years ago. So we're both still playing, and it was just really cool that we ran into each other in Summoner Duels right after talking about it. Like, what are the odds of that? So we just drew on purpose. And then I played 2 more matches after that. It was getting kind of late. This was like the last day of Summoner Duels, down to the last 2 hours that it was even active, and so I stopped playing after these 2 matches. I didn't really want to push my luck. But yeah, so this was actually just a theme team. They auto-battled the entire match. They've got a plus 10 of every Crom, or at least the 4 Croms that they have over here. So yeah, definitely really cool team. When I first saw the team, I was kind of scared, not gonna lie, because that Brave Crom and Legendary Crom and Duo Crom all look very scary. But then I realized that they weren't taking any time to make their moves, and they were making like silly moves. And so I realized it was just an auto-battle match. They just probably had already won enough matches and just decided to auto-battle the rest to show off their Croms. So that's super cool. I love that. Thank you for the free win, Fuis. Appreciate it. And honestly, guys, this Whitecap Bow Crom, kind of scary. Kind of very scary. But yeah, so basically just a free win. So thank you for that. And then this final match, which I did end up winning as well. Summer Claude really shows how amazing he is here. I feel like this is meant to be a Brave Claude showcase, but it's really like a Brave Claude and Summer Claude are busted showcase. So they've got a plus 10 Naysala, Rayson, Medius, Asker, and Ymir. So I wasn't really sure what the strategy was here. I guess it was just like a Naysala does everything kind of thing. But yeah, that Asker was very hard to kill. My Brave Claude was doing 0 times 2. Thankfully, Summer Claude with Ruptured Sky was able to get in a lot of chip damage and then just Kanto away. And, you know, while Naysala comes and gets a kill, I'm able to just go finish off their Asker with Ruptured Sky again. And then at that point, Brave Claude can just pick off Naysala, and so they surrendered. So yeah, those were all the matches. Definitely kind of an up and down, and I wish I had had time to play more matches because I feel like I really could have gone far with this team, but it was kind of late in the season, so I didn't do it. But yeah, Summer Claude, crucial to this, was able to be a really good save buster, and Brave Claude, who, if I hadn't drawn that match, if I had actually lost that one, my run would have been over because I was down to my last match. So there you have it. Brave Claude is so good now, guys. Of course, you also got to see how amazing Summer Claude is in this video, but I really meant to show off that Brave Claude is beyond viable now. I feel like he has really revitalized my enjoyment of the game, and I'm so excited to see what else I can do with him in other modes too. Before we end off, I wanted to give a massive thank you to all of my channel members. Thank you guys so much for your ongoing support. Super appreciate it. I'm planning a unit review stream soon, and members get first priority to have their submissions reviewed in the stream. If you'd like to become a Promenader too, you can check out the graphics on the screen or the link in my description. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.